am really excited that, like, I'm a massive Somber fan of his songwriting, and his lyrics are so intensely confessional. I don't like want another man's child to have the eyes of the girl I can't forget. Are you kidding me? Like, having a male artist say stuff like that is really good for the cause of women to be able to say stuff. If there's any way we can make confessional songwriting a little bit more.
How she did take herself to a Purple People Eater kind of moment. We're kind of getting this Purple People Eater vibration. This Jimbo is giving me Purple People Eater!
New York, New York, New York. Well, shit. Test, test, 1, 2. Do you like my body? Do you like my body? Am I supposed to like look at myself this whole time that I'm fucking talking? Fucking creature. Y'all want her? No. I have to say, I'm definitely one of those people that looks a lot better when I'm not talking. But unfortunately, I'm going to be talking. So welcome to the Rawdog, which is some shit I just made up. Long story short is I've been on prescription psychiatric medication for about 5 to 6 or 7 years. And I got so frustrated with Walgreens customer service that I said, you know what? I'm about a raw dog. I'm about a raw dog life. I'm over it. I'm so over it. So I said, okay, so if I'm stopping taking these prescription psychiatric medications, what else is a really good idea to do? Oh, I know. How about I stop smoking weed for a little bit? Not forever, but enough to level it out, because y'all, at this point I smoke and it's like nothing happened. You'll look at me, you'll say, oh my god, he's so high. I'm like, girl, is nothing of the sort. So I am gonna try raw dogging life. As Zara Larson said, who knew opening up would make me a headline? So I thought, okay, you're right, let me try. I sit at work all day watching YouTube videos, so I'm like, okay, let's try this. Let's do this. Let's see what will happen if I tell my story. Not tell my story, but come on here and just maybe every day, I'm thinking every day, come on here and say what I'm thinking about, because I always have a lot to say, and I'm gonna try and make it quick, because not a big fan of a long video, except when I am. So I can't wait to see how this turns out. So before I get into my 3 topics, just so you are aware, my 3 topics are going to be the psychopharmaceutical industry, psycho in terms of the mind, not psychotic. The next topic is something called anything for ads, and then I want to talk about performative activism. But before I get into that, there's something really special I want to say, and that is stream Smoking Susie by Susie Toot, stream Clap on Spotify, Gender is a Construct, tear it apart, and lastly, stream Crystal Envy by Crystal Envy, because New Jersey, I want to see y'all jumping. I want to see y'all jumping. We got Crystal Envy. We got Lux Noir London. I want to see y'all jumping. That's it. So I want to take a minute and thank the sponsor of today's video, which is me. I know my lighting right now isn't the most optimal, but you know, it is what it is. I want to show you guys my jewelry display. This is for the girls with messy rooms, the girls who might live like pigs, even though I would never say that about my audience or my customers. So this is my 3D printed jewelry display. This is more for like studs or like smaller pieces, because if you leave them like laying around your room, they're going to collect bacteria, all kinds of stuff. So use my special discount code to get a offer on these. I make these all myself. They're all 3D printed, and then I apply a coat of gloss on them so they're nice and shiny. My narrative with these is they're like future fossils, so I kind of imagine them as like reverse fossils, like from the future, that are like a mix of like living organisms, organisms that we've naturally selected to become like products. So if you would like to support some cool artists, these shirts I also make. This is one that is all sold out. These are bleached, dyed with my stencils on them, and they're pretty fierce. Honestly, you're not going to find a lot of shit like this. So I hope you check it out. I hope you can elevate your lifestyle. And back to my little video. I'm not going to say anything else. I said everything I need to say. You guys are going to see this. You're going to get so inspired by how much value these products can bring to your life, how cool you could look with this shirt, how nice your room could look. I'm really doing God's work here, right? Sorry. Okay, back to my video. Do you want some candy? Do you want some candy from the candy store? This is what my life is like when I don't smoke weed. Goodbye. Okay. So the first thing I want to talk about is pretty topical to this whole series, which is the conceit of this is me just like stopping taking my pills, which is kind of hilarious. So I want to talk about the neuropharmaceutical industry. I entered this industry when I was a freshman in college, and I had a bit of like family drama. I was coming into college thinking I was going to be a forensic scientist, which is hilarious in hindsight because I ended up studying industrial design, which is like product design, at the same college. But I was very lost. I was very confused. I had like messy things going on. I was getting into like weed for the first time, really like heavily. And obviously I didn't tell my doctor that. It was nothing of the sort. The doctor didn't even know what weed was. Secretly, that's true. Wasn't even a thought. But anyway, that's how I got into it. I got diagnosed with CPTSD, which is complex post-traumatic stress disorder, and I got diagnosed with anxiety. And to treat these, I was prescribed Wellbutrin, also known as bupropion, and I was also prescribed buspirone, which is a medication for the anxiety. So to break it down simply, Wellbutrin works on your norepinephrine and dopamine receptors in your brain. And what that looked like for me, and again, everything I'm about to talk about is just my own experience. If you're on your effing Zoloft and it's working for you, girl, work. I don't really care. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm only talking about me. That's all I really care about. I'm a pretty selfish person. I'm a pretty bad person, honestly. Sorry. So I got put on Wellbutrin and buspirone, and they sort of like counteracted each other a little bit. Wellbutrin is a NDRI, which means it works on your norepinephrine and dopamine receptors in your brain. And what that looked like for me is horny. Not a joke. When I got prescribed it, the doctor said to me, "Oh, when you take this, you should probably have a Netflix and chill lined up." And those, I'm not making that. I'm not bullshitting. They said that to me. You should have a Netflix and chill lined up, and they weren't joking, because it made me horny. It did. Not to be disgusting or gross. I'm a very disgusting and gross person, like I just said. You know, probably tell by the way that I look. Sorry. It did make me horny. It did make me horny, and I think that was a bit of my sexual renaissance. Once I started taking that pill, you know, I was in college. I was really kind of going at it, right? It also made me a lot more motivated, a lot more willing to do things. And I had a great time at college. I made a lot of friends. I learned a lot of good stuff, smoked a lot of weed. For some reason, I say that as if I wouldn't do it again right now in a second, as if I wouldn't go fucking put a cut open milk jug in a giant garbage pail and make a freaking gravity bong out of it. But anyway, I am a crackhead. Not anymore though. I'm like a nun now. But to keep myself on track here, I started taking it and I had a great time, you know, motivated, exercising, doing my big one. And the buspirone, which is the one for anxiety, those have a shorter half-life, whereas the Wellbutrin is a lot more activating. The buspirone is a lot more relaxing. So when I would take that, I would get a little bit like drowsy, like kind of need to like take a nap for a minute secretly. And I've been on these pills since I got into college, and I got into college, it was 2020 or 2021. I graduated during peak COVID, so do with that what you will. And since I was starting college, I've been on these pills. And they've been working for me. I honestly do not identify as someone who's mentally ill. I know that might not be what it seems, but I really don't identify as mentally ill. And I've come to this point where I feel very mentally stable, and my life is very stable. I have a great job somehow as a designer in 2026 with, you know, AI up the wazoo. I have a really nice, like, stable career somehow. I have an amazing husband, which is like, sometimes I feel very like insecure and unlovable, you know, so he's my right-hand arm man, my silly rabbit. Does he call you that? No. But everything's pretty good. The only thing left to do is freaking get better at sewing and fucking cross-dress. So that's where we are. And this psychiatrist, no shade, I know he's not watching this, he would call me no, he wouldn't call me. I would have to make the appointment or else I wouldn't get these pills. I would have to make an appointment with him like every 3 months, and we would have the same like 27-second phone call of like, "Hi, is this Skylar?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Are you doing okay? Your pills are working?" I'm like, "Yeah." And that was it. So this most recent time, I said like, oh yeah, just make sure you send the pills to this address, which is my pharmacy, because we just moved into our own apartment. And this was not the first time I've gotten them filled at this new pharmacy. I've gotten them filled here at least 2 or 3 times. So this is not news. Honestly, this was not news. I said, okay, just make sure it goes to this pharmacy, because it's happened before and I didn't want it to be messy. Just make sure it goes to this pharmacy. He said, oh yeah, of course, I got you. I didn't think anything of it. And I get to Walgreens, I'm going through the drive-thru. I sat behind a car forever waiting for it to go. And then I get there and they're like, oh no, we don't have that prescription for you. That's at a different Walgreens. And I'm like, oh, that's not. And it was the Walgreens that I used to get it filled at. So I'm like, okay, so clearly we reverted back somehow. Clearly something did not happen here properly. So then I'm in my parking garage at my apartment and I call the other Walgreens and I'm like, hey, how y'all doing? Can you like send this prescription over to over to my new pharmacy? And the guy's like, no. And I've done this before and they do it. And I'm confused because he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, are you working at a Walgreens right now? Like what? Like what? Like hello? And he was like really confused. I'm like, no, I need you to I had to explain this scenario to him like genuinely 3 times. And then he's like, okay, we can't do that. And I'm like, yes, you can. And he's like, okay, we'll do it. I'm like, I'm not even joking. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So then he's like, okay, I'll send it over. I'm like, okay, right. And at this point, I'm starting to give up. I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to pick up these pills again. I don't know what it is. For reference, the doses that I'm on are relatively low. I'm on like 150 milligrams of Wellbutrin and 10 milligrams 3 times a day of buspirone, which are relatively low doses. They're like either like the starting dose or like just above the starting dose. So imagine my shock when I open up my little Walgreens portal and guess what I see? Nothing of the sort. So the prescription just got deleted from the record. So I don't know in what language, maybe like Russian or maybe German, like me saying, can you transfer this to this other Walgreens means delete the prescriptions from my record. But that's what happened. And at this point, I'm like, if I have to wait on hold for a Walgreens representative one more time in my life and hit 3 to go to pharmacy and then hear the freaking robot voice say, I can actually help you with most of your pharmacy concerns. I'm like, no. You don't get it. You're very stupid. You don't get it. I need to talk to a person, not you, little robot girl. I'm going to kill you. Sorry. So as soon as I saw the prescription got erased, I'm like, all right, we're not tapering off. We're not talking to the doctor. We're going to Rawdog it. And that's how we got here to the Rawdog. So I wanted to talk a little bit about my thinking behind, just dropping these pills that you're not supposed to drop, and the pharmaceutical industry. And I'll make it quick. So I already yapped about this topic a lot. So I just kind of, and again, everything is for me. Whatever the hell you do with your pills and your brain, I don't care. No shade. In this context, I don't care. Do whatever you want, whatever's right for you. I'm talking about me, okay? I was just over it. I'm like, you're telling me for the rest of my life, every month, I need to go to Walgreens and get these like little pills for my brain. I'm like, girl, I'm fine. Like, no shade. I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna be depressed, let me be depressed. If I'm gonna be anxious, I'll be anxious. I don't know why I just stopped caring. I'm like, I don't really care anymore. I'm like so tired of taking these pills because when I would take the anxiety one during the day at work, I would get like so drowsy and I would just want to like pass out. And I'm like, I'm so over this, like honestly. And I think that combined with the amount of weed I was smoking was just giving my brain like I just feel like it was becoming not me. I feel like I was losing kind of what was real inside of me and just sort of was operating a little bit on autopilot. So fuck the pharmaceutical industry. I'm no longer giving you, $10 a month or whatever, because they really do profit a lot from this narrative. I know medication really helps a lot of people, but the proportion of people that are on medication now compared to when sort of all of that was first happening is very different. Before, it used to be in like extreme cases you would get prescribed stuff, but now they literally will throw medication at everyone. And I think there's a disconnect between that treatment and just the state of the world. The fact that we live in such a terrifying mind control world. I'm not joking. Your phone, the news, the food, the work, everything is part of this freaking United States psyop, right? We all kind of are aware of that. I'm sure if you're on like the gay side of YouTube, you're aware that the world is, you know, not the best. In this particular context, you know, I could be optimistic on a different video, but I was just over it. So I can't wait to see how this turns out. Okay, so that's my spiel for the pharmaceutical industry. I said everything I need to say. You heard it. So the next thing I want to talk about is anything for ads. So at work, I'm on my computer the whole time, basically, you know, working, but I have on my phone like YouTube videos playing. And the uptick in ads recently on YouTube and just in general is insane. And to the point where I can tell it is damaging my attention span, the ads. Because let's say you're trying to do something for like 30 minutes or like 20 minutes or whatever. If you're getting ads every like 5 minutes or something like that you need to freaking wait and skip through, I literally feel it damaging my attention span. Like every second, like getting like distracted, like off task. I'm like, can I just do something for like 20 minutes without getting distracted, please? And these algorithms are so insane to me at this point. Like the level of fine-tuned, I would literally want to get a cat and like right away, cat videos. I watched one video about like prehistoric spiders everywhere. I'm starting to get back into like Legend of Korra clips. Like it adapts so quickly to the littlest changes in your interests and behavior. And it's insane to me because it used to not be like that. It's always kind of was an AI deciding for you, and AI not in like a buzzword way, but in like the like algorithmic solving recommendation way. But it's just gotten so advanced and over the top. I can't believe it. And it's all just to get you to watch more and more ads. That's all everything is. The reason that the news headlines are sensationalized, they want you to click it to look at ads. YouTube videos sensationalized, click it, watch ads. Anything for ads. That is such a big part of our just global rotted world, I guess. The one thing that I would like to recommend for this is what I started doing was every single time I get an ad, I mute it. On my little AirPods, I swing that dial back and I mute those ads. I don't want to hear about Claude. No, I deal with enough Claude bullshit at work. I don't want to hear about Claude. I don't want to hear about Upwork. I don't want to hear about Big Cartel, the thing that I already use for my website. Why are you giving me ads for something that I already pay for? Like, what's not clicking? Like, y'all have so much batshit intelligence and you can't be like, okay, he already pays for this. Let's not show any more ads for this, right? Whatever. I guess it's like hot, warm customer bullshit. So I don't really have a solution for that beyond just mute your fucking ads. I'm over it. Chop. I hate open AI ads. It's funny. A lot of the things that I feel like people use or advertise using AI for is like, no. You actually have a brain. The things that you are doing with the AI, it's actually really funny because you actually have something in your skull called a brain that lets you write sentences and create images. That's actually in your brain. Like a personal AI agent to do this and that for you. I'm like, no. You have a brain. That's called writing things down, and that's called using your brain. So I think that's another thing to keep an eye out on, is just the general, like, less relying on our brains. So that's anything for ads. Just wanted to say my piece on that. So the last piece I want to talk about for this short little video is I'm going to talk about one final thing at the end. But the last thing I want to talk about is performative activism. And this is hilarious to me, especially in the Drag Race fandom. So in the design world, as you know, that's like where I work, AI is everywhere. And if you're not using it, you're falling behind. So at work, we use a lot of AI tools. A lot of it still needs to run on your brain and your heart. But just in terms of speeding up asset creation, things like that, that's just our SOP, right? I didn't make the rules. I show up to work and I get paid, whatever. I don't give a fuck. So I have a very like keen eye for like what is AI and what's not. I like honestly, most of the things that I feel like people might not think is AI, like I'm like, I can tell. There's like it's hard to put into words, but once you've been working on it, once you've been dealing with this crap for 40 hours a week for God knows how long, like you can tell when things are AI, even if they don't look like they are. And something that I think is really funny right now in like the Drag Race world, is like the way the girls be like dogpiling when they post their little AI pictures. Now, again, do I think those are ugly? Yes, I do. I do think a lot of them come out pretty ugly. And I don't think we should do that. I don't think it looks cute. I don't think it's a good idea. I just, whether it's the photo shoot backgrounds or the event posters, those are two big common things. People will dog on it and make a whole thing about it. It's like, oh, you have 6 fingers. Oh, it's AI, kind of cancel you on Twitter, whatever, obviously, as they do. Nothing groundbreaking. But what I think is so funny is the ones that slip under the radar. There's a lot of queens, like a lot of queens that everyone loves. And I'm telling you, I'm not uncertain about this. I'm 100% positive that a lot of these things, whether it be like the flyers or like small little things like that, where AI is filling in like that last 25% of it. Like I can tell. One specific example, and I love Trinity the Tuck. I do. I don't know like why, but I do. Just as an example, I'm not calling her. I'm not like cancel her. Like I don't give a fuck. But just as an example. So she posted her like little like viewing party thing like at her house or whatever, and that flyer, that little second slide, I'm like, girl, I can tell that's AI. Now if it's not and I'm wrong, I guess I'll die, whatever. But for me, that was 100% made with AI. You put the text in, maybe you have it already formatted, and the AI beautifies it and simplifies it. So I think it's just funny, this performative cancellation, when it's like, you guys know, like, yes, is AI bad? Yes. Are data centers bad? Yes. Fuck the data centers. Can't stand that. Whatever. But I'm like, you guys order shit on Amazon. Like, you guys should go to McDonald's. Like, it's this sort of like offloading of shame is what's interesting to me. The way people like will cancel and attack each other, when in reality it's like, no. That's what the billionaires have been wanting us to do. This is like the whole class consciousness thing. They want us to be mad at each other over bullshit so we don't all work together. And what the gag is that it works. This generation, in my opinion, in this exact moment, might change. In this exact moment is what I'm talking about. We can't revolutionize. We can't organize a revolution. Girl, everyone's on Instagram. Everyone's scrolling, girl. We can't revolutionize. Girl, everyone's cooked. We're all cooked. We can't organize a giant boycott. We can try. We might make a little dent. Jeff Bezos don't care. He's keep trying, but y'all are gonna fucking buy your toothpaste with 2-day shipping. He doesn't give a fuck. The solution, I don't know. The solution is for a different video. But I just think the performative activism is kind of funny. If you want solutions, that's going to be a separate video. I'm just complaining right now. Just raw dogging it. So okay, that's kind of the conceit here, is like, I'm just going to speak my mind. Just raw dog. I don't give a fuck. You know what else was making me want to get off my pills? I was watching Black Mirror and the episode 50 Million Merits. I'm like, okay, so that's like getting on Drag Race. And all that. But they make them drink this like compliance, and I'm like, I don't know why, but I feel like that's like what my pills are doing to me. Like, it's giving like, oh, take your good boy pills, make sure you're a functioning member of society, make sure you're complacent, make sure you're not, interrupting any patterns in our financial calculations. And as soon as I saw that like compliance bullshit, I was like, okay, wow, it's like a little weird. And then when all this Walgreens stuff happened, I was like, you know what? I think I'm done letting billion-dollar corporations into my neurochemistry. Would it be so terrible? Fuck them kids. Just while we're here, fuck the farm, fuck the healthcare. Y'all are evil as fuck. I don't know what's gonna happen to you guys, but I'm sure something terrible will happen to the healthcare executives. I have no part in that. Personally, I'm very peaceful. But, those evil actions do not go unnoticed by the whole world, and people will be upset, and you will die. That's not a threat. I'm not threatening. I'm just saying, karma's real, and that's about it, honestly. So the last thing that I want to get into is just the state of this little fartsy channel. So Xanthan Gumb is like my drag character. I struggle to identify with it fully because I'm still bringing it to life. I have kind of just like one complete look, maybe like two if you count my spider. So I'm going to be talking more about that clown soon. That was a whole freaking thing. For other videos and stuff, I have the final part of my merch ranking for All Stars 10 done. Just need to post it, make the thumbnail. It's funny because I started this series when All Stars 10 was like just wrapping up, and now here we are, All Stars 11 about to premiere. a year later, they got me, gal. But like I said, we're gonna try and I just like really believe in like authenticity and like posting more. One of my goals for this year is just to like, you know, like post more regularly. Just focus on being my authentic self. That's what the girls talk about. But yeah, more shit. Hopefully you guys find this entertaining. I always have a lot to say. And I need to do something besides smoke weed. So y'all are gonna hear me out. I can't wait to see how this turns out. Third time I've said it in the video. Did you notice that it's the third time I said it? Probably did. All right, well, anyway, if you're watching this, that means I posted it, so good job for me, right? Girl, the delusion. But anyway, go find your next video. Try and have a good night. Tell your family you love them. And stare at the wall for like a minute. Next time you feel the need to, just stare at the wall. Just don't do anything. Just stare at the wall. People don't do that enough. With that said, I need to go put this crap together on Premiere Pro. $64 a month, by the way. Fuck you, Adobe. Evil, 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 evil. Fuck you, Adobe. $65 a month for all this bullshit. Whatever. Fuck you, Adobe. Hate you. I can say whatever I want about these corporations. Sorry, just need to let it out a little bit. So I'm gonna go edit this on Premiere Pro, and I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. I hope this video isn't too long. Y'all don't have the attention span, neither do I. Sorry, I need to stop insulting my audience because I tend to do that. I tend to insult people. I'm just yapping at this point, girl, whatever. All right, thank you for watching this. I'll see you on the other side. You're gonna die! New York, New York, New York. Smoking Susie, what a floozy, making all the fellas too. Oh, you're dripping in jealousy. Can't take the fact that I'm MVP. Got your name in my mouth so transparently. It's clear that I'm giving you crystal envy. I can't wait to see how this turns out.